I have an invitation to you from Mary Oliver. Oh, do you have time to linger for just a little while out of your busy and very important day for the goldfinches that have gathered in a field of thistles for a musical battle to see who can sing the highest note, or the lowest, or the most expressive of mirth, or the most tender? Their strong, blunt beaks drink the air as they strive melodiously, not for your sake, not for mine, and not for the sake of winning, but for the sheer delight and gratitude. Believe us, they say. It is a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning in the broken world. I beg of you, do not walk by without pausing to attend to this rather ridiculous performance. It could mean something. It could mean everything. It could be what Rilke meant when he wrote, "You must change your life."
Nothing puts my heart in a holy place like Mary Oliver. So let's sing about it. This is hymn 1008 in your teal, but it'll be up on the screens too. If your body feels like cooperating today, you may stand, but with the big barometric pressure drop, I understand if it's not in the mood.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, and our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Good morning, and welcome to the church with a big heart and a long name, the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. As I say our welcome words today, I invite you to soften into the embrace of our gathered community here in our sanctuary and online, and to know that you are seen and you are safe here. You are all welcome here today, in all the beauty of languages, cultures, skin tones, shapes and sizes, gifts and challenges that come together in your uniqueness, you are welcome here. In all the ways you experience and express gender, in the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. In all the ways you experience and express gender, in all the ways you make your living and the places you are from, with all the traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here. No matter how long you are away, nor how soon you will return, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with a curious mind, a listening heart, and a willing spirit. We welcome you today. Let us remember too, although our service will have many words, we meet most deeply in the silence behind those words, breathing together in this sacred space. If you're joining us for the first time in person or online, we're glad you're here. However you found your way to us, we hope you feel the warmth and love of this congregation surrounding you today. If you would like to follow along with the order of service, you can scan the QR code right here on the screens or click the link in the Zoom chat. Later in the service, during Joys and Concerns, we'll create a space to share what is tender or significant in your life. If you're joining us on Zoom, you will be invited to share in the chat at that time. If you're here in person, you may write a note in our Book of Joys and Concerns near the doors to the sanctuary, and you can do that now during the service if you haven't done so already. I looked a little while ago and there was only one joy and concern there for today, so please feel free to add more. Throughout the week, we have opportunities for spiritual growth, service, and friendship. If you're here in person, stop by the welcome table in the foyer for more information. If you're on Zoom, you'll find helpful links in the chat. We encourage you to join us and let our community get to know you. And now, let's take one chaotic minute to greet our neighbors. Somebody's timing it.
If you have a chalice at home, you can light it with me as Eric lights our fellowship chalice. So we know where all our chalices are, please write in the Zoom chat, chalice lit in, name of your town. Let's say the words together as he lights the chalice. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. Now I'll sing the bowl again, inviting you to draw deeper and deeper into the present moment and this, our beloved community. Silence is not something that we Unitarians are good at. Judging from the delightful crescendo of greetings that always rises from our congregation after our welcome words, We're not only verbally friendly, but many of us really enjoy what I've begun to call recreational talking. As in certain familiar creation stories, we call our worlds into being through naming, analyzing, agreeing, and contradicting. Any doubters should visit the fellowship hall during our sacred coffee hour to listen for further evidence. For me, I have been a devotee of the human voice since babyhood. Even my mother's off-key singing was dear to me. I loved listening to the mixture of laughter and conversation that rose from my parents' cocktail parties as I lurked in the hallway upstairs, hiding and curious about the buzzing of adult society. When my parents and I sang such standards as "Shine On Harvest Moon" in the car coming home from a dinner out, I felt that I belonged. And bird song was especially so valuable to me that my first comprehensible word was bird. Maybe the easiest explanation for my early love of voices is that I couldn't see faces. In those days, in the 1950s, children didn't get eye tests, so no one knew that I couldn't make out any human expression. I didn't know that trees had individual leaves. To me, they were a lovely blur of green moving in the wind. So instead of sight, I depended on hearing. The tone, pitch, rhythm, and emotional complexity of human voices were especially wonderful to me, not just when people were singing, but when speaking about anything at all. Even when I became a reader, voices always took precedence over the written word. But there is, as always, a catch. Loving voices can lead all too easily to loving the sound of one's own voice. Forget the abstract pronoun one. I became a talker. Higher education compounded the problem when I was first a professional student and then a professional professor. Through 50 classroom years, I think I grew into a better listener. Better, not perfect. You can imagine how grateful my friends have been for the Unitarian Universalist emphasis on deep listening that has been a recent practice for me at BVUUF Covenant groups, in leadership groups, and now in navigating the many challenging moments of change and anxiety within our fellowship. Right now, we may be finding it hard to listen to each other. The problem is endemic in the larger political and social world, and we don't need to talk about that. We feel it in our bones. The more immediate problem within our beloved community, relatively small as it is that we don't always allow for the airing of different opinions, and even more to the point, different and uncomfortable feelings. A friend of mine always refers to her church family by saying, "These are my people." I'm sure many of us would say the same. Unfortunately, it's easy to assume that we're identical in ways such as political affiliation, and forget how varied and remarkably, staggeringly different we actually are. As we five were working on the new covenant for the fellowship, which is on the screen, we ended up using a kind of shorthand of big, suggestive terms, which we hoped would invite further explanation and exploration, individually and in groups. We are a fellowship welcoming to all, we began. Welcoming to all are three little words, standing for our differences of gender, age, ability, class, and on and on. We knew we couldn't avoid the fact that historically, this fellowship was born out of a larger congregational conflict, and up till now has handled conflicts rather badly at times. Our congregational survey revealed as much, and we continue to work on the complex definition of all. So, in the covenant, we decided to state in the affirmative that we are a place filled with differences, quote, where our differences are a source of deep learning and spiritual growth. The differences may be obvious. What we do about them isn't so obvious. In the end, we covenant writers risk using words that suggest that we can express our differences, learn from them, and actually grow in our spiritual depths and heights by taking them on and expanding our understanding of each other and ourselves. If that isn't an aspirational statement, I don't know what is. And it's a deep learning that's worth striving for. Superficiality is easy. We want more. We even dared to suggest that we have more. Easy to say. What isn't easy is to stop saying and start listening. Up rises a handy aphorism. You can't learn anything if you're talking. And of course, I can argue against that. We often do learn something by explaining it to someone else. And look up the rubber duck effect, which is quite a marvelous thing. Years ago, I remember giving a present of a book to my partner Gary after a huge argument in which I didn't feel heard. Edited by Dave Issei, the title of the 2007 book was Listening is an Act of Love. Within our stories from the ongoing project called Storycorps. Remember Storycorps? NPR used to broadcast a Storycorps conversation every Friday at 7:30. Each one was a conversation between two people who wanted to share their experiences and their feelings for each other, and archive their conversations in the Library of Congress. It's still going on, I found out. A parent would talk to a child, a teacher to a student, two old friends would reconnect. They were moving conversations, often funny, always resonant. In one, Carolyn Schlam told her sister, the music of our lives was the voices, mostly female. It was almost like a contest. It was just something you were expected to be good at. Even though the quality of their language was rich, the actual subject matter was the most inane, insignificant stuff. Mommy would go to the supermarket, and she'd come back, and she'd do 45 minutes on the bargains at Olinsky's. Her sister Rebecca replied quietly, I think we would have killed for a moment of privacy. Listening is an act of love. I'm not sure that my Gary ever read the book, but we did try harder to listen to each other, something that neither his parents nor mine ever modeled. Just being quiet while the other person spoke wasn't enough, of course, but for us it was a good start. Further training was useful. From Marshall Rosenberg, who trained people in nonviolent communication, or compassionate communication as he changed the name, I learned about two distinct ways in which we can listen to each other. Rosenberg invented useful symbols. We can listen with jackal ears, or we can listen with giraffe ears. The first way, jackal ears, is taught more often by our society. The second way is harder to learn. He described jackal listening as preparing to pounce on the other person's words, not really listening to what they have to say, but rehearsing an argumentative response of one's own. As a counter, he presented the idea of giraffe listening. Rosenberg said that the giraffe is the land animal with the biggest heart. So if you listen with giraffe ears to another person, you are listening with love, with empathy, in some with compassion, putting aside your own ego and, in short, paying attention. Have you by any chance seen the funny, to me, progressive commercial in which a young woman is confiding in a friend? The so-called friend is hardly aware of her, but is looking at her phone instead. The first woman finally stops the conversation and calls out, "Bridgewater, you're in." At this point, the charming NFL quarterback identifies himself to us as Teddy Bridgewater, backup listener. And he sits down and he listens intently without being distracted as the first woman continues to share her feelings. We all need backup or designated listeners with whom to share our deepest concerns. Not feeling heard is one of the greatest hurts any of us can experience. Currently, this, our beloved community, is experiencing some misunderstandings and confusions, partly, I think, reflecting the chaos outside our walls. Our transition to a new minister has brought challenges, to say the least. To give us a chance to express ourselves in a safe place and to know for sure that we have been heard, the Committee on Shared Ministries, the Right Relationship Team, and the Transition Team are providing a series of at least 14 listening circles beginning March 22nd. Sign-ups are available now online. Each listening circle will give a space for participants to express the complexity of their thoughts and feelings without interruption. Each of us, participants, circle keepers, and leadership members, will honor each speaker, listening attentively to the spoken words and also to the unspoken words under the surface, to the speaker's tones and emotions. There will be no discussion, no answers, no crosstalk, just listening. In this fellowship, we truly do, quote, strive to promote love, reason, and respect. As our covenant says, we are one community, and we are not discounting any single person in this community. We hope that listening circles will open up the chance for everyone's voices to be heard. Time to circle back to my beginning. In our opening poem, Invitation, Mary Oliver exhorts the reader to not walk by, but to attend to the bird songs. Quote, "It could mean something. It could mean everything." She also quotes from the poet Rilke, who imagined that the marble torso of an ancient sculpture of Apollo demands you must change your life. In that sonnet, Rilke suggests that a work of art can bring such fresh revelation to the viewer and such a challenge to the artist that the encounter feels like a command to restructure our whole way of seeing the world and how we live within it. Aldous Huxley, in his utopian novel The Island, imagines exotic birds continually flying through the forest, calling out, "Attention! Attention!" Do you remember that? To bring the present moment into focus for us. I love that image. And I wonder whether Mary Oliver did too. So let me close with a prayer from activist Barbara Deming. She asks that we listen to the earth and to each other. Hear these good words. Spirit that hears each one of us, hears all that is, listens, hears us out. Inspire us now. Our own pulse beats in every stranger's throat, and also there within the flowered ground beneath our feet. And teach us to listen. We might just learn something new.
We now enter the sacred time of sharing our joys and concerns. Oh, lovely. Look at that. If you're on Zoom, please add what's in your heart in the chat now that you would like us to share. Our Sunday support person this morning is Constance Holden, wearing the white stole and waving. Constance will be at the welcome desk and available for pastoral care after the service. As each of our joys and concerns are spoken, Claire and Marie will place a stone in the water to symbolize how they are shared by this community. May we hold all these joys and concerns in our heart and offer our listening as an act of love. Claire Marie, please place a stone for all the suffering in Gaza, Sudan, Ukraine, Iran, and across the world today caused by corrupt leaders who think might makes right and listening makes us weak. And please place one last stone for the joys and concerns that remain in the silent sanctuary of our hearts, knowing that even in our silence, we are bound together in the web of life. Thank you. For our pastoral prayer this morning, I offer this poem. I wrote it at a secret spot I know along the creek near my home, and it's called Holy Ground. All leaf, wood, and tumbling water, 3 fallen trees bridge the stream here, as gracious in death as they were in life. I sit on broken concrete, take in the moving water, the fallen trees, the wet earth, and my own steady longing for insight, compassion, peace. Just then a red fox squirrel dances along the highest fallen tree, looks my way, flicks her tail. We are not so different, she and I. Like mine, her heart is still beating. Instinctively, she will press on through hunger, through pain, to find what she needs to live, as I press on to find grace in my remaining days, knowing neither of us will last that long. And all of this, her heart, her home, my heart, my home, all of this is holy.
We're going to stay seated for the meditation on breathing. If you have a favorite part in this song, I encourage you to sing it. There's not enough of me to do a round. But if you know it and you like it, sing the part that you like. And we'll just sing it till it's good and sung. Let's start with the drone together, okay?
So let us breathe in peace and breathe out love. As I hope you've figured out by now, Our theme this morning is listening as an act of love. Lucky for you, I'm an expert at listening. Poorly, distractedly, self-centeredly. And I have plenty of company in this affliction. So many of us rush through our days and we rush through our listening too, waiting for a pause from the others so we can jump in with our own story. It's a symptom of our inherent preoccupation with ourselves, with the ego, with our own self-importance, our own story. It's a reasonable survival mechanism for the human animal to have. But as wise souls from all kinds of cultures and religions through time and across the world have been telling us, there is a deeper, richer way to live by setting aside the self and simply being present to the life unfolding all around us right now. Be here now. We can listen like that too. How many of you, let me ask this, how many of you are familiar with the UUA publication Soul Matters? Can I see a show of hands? Plenty don't know that. So, it looks like plenty of folks haven't heard it yet, so I'll mansplain it for you. Soul Matters is a packet of exercises, questions, and quotes published 10 months a year for subscribing UU congregations. Each month advances a theme, like this month's Paying Attention. Soul Matters is available in 3 different versions: a worship guide for creating services, a small group study guide for our covenant groups, and I think most of you who are familiar with it know that one. And there's also a version for our religious education. You can find the small group version in the members-only section of our website. It's quite easy to find. This month, Soul Matters quotes the late French philosopher, mystic, and political activist Simone Weil, who said, "Attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity." Attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. She wrote that in order to truly pay attention, we must practice self-emptying. She noticed our perception of reality is often clouded by our attachments, born from the self and projected out onto the world. She noticed, as the Buddha noticed long ago, that we do not see things as they are, but as they relate to our desires, values, and imagined needs. The self, or I, fabricates a world driven by illusions. The self fabricates a world driven by illusions. So there she was. This is what really, really always just touches me deeply. So there she was in her own time in France as World War II was looming on the horizon, creating her own philosophy, which was rediscovering the universal truth of our interconnectedness, the illusion of our separateness, the joy of giving rather than receiving, and the problem of attachment. Her observations remind us again that paying attention, truly listening, is a spiritual practice with profound benefits for our lives. It is a practice that can lead us deeper into love, respect, compassion, and justice. And we are reminded again that these universal truths flow like springs of life-giving water from the hearts of prophets of truth throughout human history. But it's hard, and it requires intention and practice. I have mentioned before that I struggle with attention deficit disorder, and there are lots of times, when I can't listen intently, to say the least. The flip side of ADD, though, is that when I focus, I can focus deeply. And if I catch myself drifting away, I can often pull myself back and try again to pay attention. So I go back to the beginning of the paragraph, back to the first line of the poem, but rarely can I ask a friend to go back to the beginning of their story. So let's acknowledge This practice of paying attention and listening deeply is a path, a spiritual journey that might include detours, false starts, and maybe some failures along the way. Not easy. But holistic healer Rachel Naomi Remen, author of Kitchen Table Wisdom, has a way of making it simpler. She says, I suspect the most basic and powerful way to connect with another person is just listening. Perhaps the most important thing we give each other is our attention, especially if it is given from the heart. Now here's the simple part. She says, when people are talking, there's no need to do anything but receive them. Just take them in. Listen to what they are saying and care about it. Most times, caring about it is more important than understanding it. Believe in the power of simply saying, I'm so sorry when someone is in pain, and meaning it. Perhaps no words are needed at all. Often, a loving silence has more power to heal and to connect than the most well-intentioned words. End quote. So once again, we find that turning to mindfulness and compassion, recognizing the ego as an obstacle, not a master, allowing others to take the space they need without judgment, is a spiritual practice with benefits. And once again, I really wish I could better practice what I am literally preaching right now. My teacher Ram Dass says, the art of listening comes from a quiet mind and an open heart. That is my prayer for all of us today, to live with a quiet mind and an open heart. And for me, maybe also a quieter vocal box. I'd like to get to the end of this particular existence and be able to say, I'm glad I spoke less and listened more. But it's probably too late for me to become one of those strong, silent types, the kind of person who only speaks when they have something important to say. I'll probably have to content myself with just keeping my monkey mind on a shorter leash. Until then, I'll do the best I can with the awareness I have, and that's all any of us can promise. Namaste.
Each week, we remind ourselves of the abundance of our lives and this community by giving half our plate away to those organizations that share our values. Today, the half plate goes to World Central Kitchen, the international hunger relief agency that responds immediately in a crisis, serving fresh, chef-prepared meals to communities impacted by natural disasters and during humanitarian crises, such as the current situation in Gaza, Lebanon, and on. As they say, help us use the power of food to nourish the world. You can contact them at wck.org. You can also text your donation at the number on the screen. If you are here today, place a donation in the offering hat as it passes. Please give as generously as you are able. We accept these offerings for the work of our congregation, bringing love, reason, compassion, and justice to the world, and for World Central Kitchen. Thank you. It is now time to roll the closing credits. Just a second, Constance. We have other credits first. Today's service has been brought to you by the following people. I'm service leader Claire Marie Wall, pronouns she, her. I was joined today by fellow service associate Eric Williams. Today's music has been provided by Carmen Sandin on piano. Thank you. And by Clara Kelly as our hymn leader. Thank you. Today's tech team has been Herb Axe on audio, Paula Zimmerman on media, and Kathy Partridge on Zoom. So, thank you. We also wish to thank those who are pledging their financial support of this fellowship. Thanks for keeping the lights on. And Constance and TK Smith have something to say about that.
Hey, look, what came in the mail? The pledge packet from the fellowship. And look, the theme is hats off.
Wow, isn't that a clever theme? I wonder exactly what that means. Does that mean that we take our hats off to people who are generous? Or do we take our hats off to the people who need a little bit of a nudge?
Probably both. Maybe I should dig out my Tin Man hat and wear it next Sunday, if only I had a pledge.
Oh, groan. Okay, put the packet on my desk and we'll deal with it later. Wasn't that kickoff brunch great? I love those burritos.
Nothing says generous spirit like 3 kinds of salsa.
TK, we really should talk about making that pledge to the fellowship.
I know. I've been buried in tax stuff all week. Nothing like looking at last year's money to make you feel poor again this year. Let's talk after I finish with all this.
Okay. Go ahead.
Famous last words.
Oh, yeah. That, getting around to it is like remembering to clean out the garage before we move to Fraser.
I can't find the pledge packet. Darn, I know it was in the same pile as the tax documents.
Oh, it's in there with all the tax documents. That means it's probably on our accountant's desk.
Don't worry, I will find it.
I have a better idea. I know that the pledge team prefers that we use that paper form, but I also know that we can do it online.
And if we wait long enough, we might hit our goal and not need to donate.
Did I really hear you say that? You know that we both love this fellowship, and it is our sacred duty to support it.
Now that I have found my heart, I wouldn't dream of not supporting our beloved ship.
TK, did you look at that thermometer when we came in? It's up to 69%. That is really good. But it's not fall asleep in the poppies time.
Soon.
And look, there's a
QR code that takes us straight to the pledge form, tailor-made for world-class procrastinators like us. Do it now.
And this is the one time when it is not rude to be looking at your phone for the rest of the service, using the QR code to get to that pledge form.
Thank you.
I have a few more announcements from Larry.
Good morning. My name is Larry Sherwood. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the vice president of the board, and I have a few announcements. If you would like to know more about our small groups called Covenant groups, or if you're considering joining one, please grab a cup of coffee and meet at the back of the sanctuary today at 11:30. Also at 11:30, you could join Wynne Montgomery to explore the power and benefits of writing memoirs or autobiographies. His session will run from 11:30 to 1:15 in the Mountain View room. You can bring a bag lunch if you wish. Please join us today in Fellowship Hall after the service for a No Kings sign-making workshop. Families are welcome. All supplies provided, and we'll have sample slogans and protest music to inspire you. Please join us for the Social Justice Council monthly movie series for the showing of the film Exposure, an inspiring film of solidarity and courage. It will show on Friday, March 20th at 6:30 in the Fellowship Hall. See the poster on the Social Justice Bulletin Board for more information about the film. During the service today, Claire Marie discussed the listening circles. You can sign up for listening circles using the QR code on the screen now or using the link in the chat. Thank you.
We get to make music together one last time today. This is one you are invited to stand up for, again, if your body feels up to it. This is a new song for us. It's called We Will Carry Each Other. We sang it or heard it sung last week. I invite you to jump in whenever you feel like you've got the hang of it, but don't stress. We're still in the learning phase, okay? I am looking for shelter in a friend. We can build a beginning, but I do not know the end. I am scared of breaking when I bend. We will carry each other on the way. My courage is your courage, while the journey is only getting longer. My strength is your strength. We will carry each other on the way. There are prayers I don't know how to say, but I still find solace when I close my eyes to pray. What I've lost
remain standing as we join in our chalice extinguishing words. Chalice extinguishing words and actions. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Now I invite you to remain standing. As we re-enter the world outside this sanctuary, may you listen deeply. May you feel seen and heard. And may your spirits expand in love and understanding. Blessed be.